going on? Welcome to the fourth meeting of Game Development Club at ISU. Yeah! Thank you. So, first things first, as per usual, going to go through announcements. There's a workshop this weekend. Nate's leading it. Hello Nate. Say hi, Nate. Hi, Nate. He's going to be going over the basics of coding in Unity. Not going to be as difficult as it sounds. If you haven't coded before, I'd suggest still showing up. We're going to be moving pretty slow at the start to try and get people used to it and try and get them working. Did you have anything you wanted to say about it? Other than it's
only two of them in total.
Yeah. So, this is part one.
Yeah. If you, there's a lot to learn about Unity, but we're going to take it slow. So this one will be a lot of basic stuff, and then.
And it's not going to be a lecture. It's not going to be some shitty programming course. You're gonna. It's going to be pretty relevant. It's going to be pretty object oriented. We also are, again, still pushing, if you want to get publicity for your game or what you're working on, or you want to try and get people involved, right after announcements, we give a time slot that you can come up, share whatever, throw your opinion in everybody's face for a bit. And then also, we have Gamers Anonymous tonight. It's actually happening for the first time. Yes. If you don't remember what Gamers Anonymous is, because we haven't done it yet, it is basically a podcast where we get in a group, everyone who's interested, and we sort of just shoot the shit and we talk about games, not from the development standpoint of the meetings that we normally do, but from a gamer standpoint. Just talk about, hey, I really like this, here's why, blah, 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 whatever you want to talk about. We're also still selling t-shirts. Oh, look at that t-shirt. It's nice. Still $5. I did remind people in the Discord finally. So if you want one, come grab it after the meeting. And also, if you are interested in joining our weekly stream, we're going to have a sign-up sheet. So basically, you can. We're not going to have a sign-up sheet. Aiden just.
So I'm going to write one down right now on this piece of paper.
All right, sounds good. So sign Aiden's sketchy sheet if you want to stream with us. Basically, once a week we stream for 2 or so hours, and if you want to bring a game to that, if you want to come and play your favorite game, your least favorite game, Bad Rats, whatever you want, you can do that, or you can play whatever game he picks out. Might have another exec member with you. It depends on everybody's schedule, but it'll be a lot of fun. So if you're interested in streaming or just getting to know people in the club better, that's a great opportunity.
All right, like I said last week, the Christian Peterson Art Museum, they're having this exhibit called Game Art versus Art Game. It's like an art gallery, but it's about video game art. It's about, thank you. It's about half prints, half actual interactive game stuff. I went to it. It was super interesting. There's some things I knew there. There was The Witness, That Dragon Cancer, Flash game from a long time ago that was pretty artsy, and then some stuff I never ever heard of or would have ever encountered without this kind of stuff. I'd recommend everyone go there. It's the first time that the museums have really put anything with the video games into their programs, and this is kind of a test run for them. So you guys going shows your support for this kind of stuff, and they'll have more of it in the future. They have 2 showings of the exhibit, October 25th and November 29th from 7 to 9 p.m. It's in the Christian Peterson Art Museum, also called Morrill Hall. It's on Central Campus by the library. And there's also a special event lecture thing they're doing called The Psychology of Video Games. That's November 5th at 6 p.m. They didn't give an end time. I assume it's probably 7 or 8. Again, at the Christian Peterson Art Museum. So if you guys are interested at all, just want to see what's going on there, I'd recommend you guys go to that. And now we have a business concept pitch thing that Anthony House here is going to be explaining.
Yeah, if you're wondering why he's been standing up here, this is why. Hi guys. You want the mic?
Sure. Cool. Can you drop the mic? Can you guys hear me all right? Okay. All right, so last Saturday I was here as well, so if you guys already did the survey, you don't have to do it again. But what's going on is I run a business, it's called The Design Guys. Some of you may recognize me from last semester. I came here recruiting. And right now we're in the midst of writing our business plan. Part of the business plan is to write a concept statement and deploy it out to people and see what they think. So that's what this is. It kind of tells you what the business is, what we do, some of the things, and then it has a short survey on the second page for you to fill out and kind of give feedback and things like that. So we have a website, it's thedesignguys.com. It's GUIS, graphical user interfaces, that's what we do. So yeah, if you have any questions, let me know. I have business cards as well if you guys need them. Go ahead and pass that down that way. Should be enough.
I already did it.
Go ahead and just pass it down then.
Does anybody not have a pencil that needs
Let's hear it. Thanks.
more pencils?
A few more people in this meeting.
A little bit, yeah. People need pencils.
Yes. People with extra pencils, start helping people out. I don't have enough to cover everybody.
track a IP address that they have what we're gonna do. You guys ever seen that?
I have seen that, and it is
Not many people.
an actual joke. Who needs one? Okay. I have like a few, you might have to use a pen, I suppose. I got him. Yeah. So yeah, check those out. Do you mind if we keep moving a little bit and they hand it in when they're done? How quick?
Wait, we have a chapter right now.
Okay, rush. Speed read. Show me your high school English skills. Put them to the test.
It's like free throw and accurate, but yeah, they're going to need the
What's up? I'm doing pretty tired.
Yeah.
I'm doing pretty tired. I woke up really early for my morning class, saw the weather. It wasn't so nice at like 6 a.m.
Oh, it was beautiful then, man. I just woke up, it was a serene morning, the world was ending.
I actually had a small panic attack at 6:15.
People a disclaimer that our microphone doesn't actually amplify its sound. It's just there for recording purposes.
True.
People always ask you to hear it when you put it on. It doesn't make it any louder.
Can you hear me? Damn.
GDC.
I thought maybe this once.
GDC ASMR.
No. Maybe not.
So like 7:21 or so. It's another 5 minutes.
Great. Mystery bag. Suspicious mystery bag. How many of you are done? Actually, better question, how many of you still need time? okay. Give it a few more minutes.
Ass.
I haven't come up with the word yet.
Probably gonna be an S in it. Let's be honest here.
I haven't come up with a word.
C.
Come up with.
Is it seething?
This is like a whole new kind of hangman. Me trying to come up with a word based on everyone's letters. This isn't fair. Okay, no, I need to actually. Somebody give me a word. Although not loud.
Give it to you without me.
Yeah. I don't know. I want to keep some people busy.
I can sign a word too if I knew sign language.
I need no.
That would be impressive.
What?
Who can sign their name?
All right, no more hangman.
It's over.
That was the fear of long words.
Well, it got to me, so good job. Just the thought of. It's like,
If you guys end up finishing, go ahead and raise your hand. I'll do mine.
Mind if I keep it?
how could you? Great background. Sad. Sad boys.
I'll go ahead and let you guys move on. If there's any extras at the end, I still would really like them. But if you want to go ahead and hand it in to him, and I can pick up the extras at a later time.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna move on. So, did anybody get the topic from my Discord message? What it's gonna be? I was proud of that. I wasn't. That was actually a shameful moment when I put that in. Did you see what the message? I said, "What's gonna work? Find out at the meeting," which is just. I'm sorry. I'm just like actually sorry. So, too bad. That's my level of humor. That's what you have to deal with.
All right, just tell me,
Yep.
is the first slide one events?
No.
All right, we're good.
The first slide is teamwork. That's a real shocker, I know. So, today I wanted to touch on teamwork because we have a game jam fast approaching. Mark your calendars, October 20th. We'll have more info about that soon. That's going to be our first game jam. Even if you still feel like you don't know what's going on, I still encourage you to go. You'll be able to do, was that a question?
Yeah, but I can wait till you're finished.
I was going to trail off, so you're fine.
Okay. What kind of program are you supposed to use to build it?
Absolutely whatever you want. If you want to make a Word document game somehow, I encourage you to try.
That sounds like a challenge. Is this a 48-hour thing?
Yes, so it'll be a 48-hour game jam. It'll start Friday at like 6 p.m. I think, and it'll go till Sunday, 6 p.m. You do not have to stay the whole time. We have people who show up at the beginning, leave, and come back at the end. Totally fine. You should get sleep if you want. I mean, you really don't have to, but you should, because by hour 26 or so, you're gonna be getting absolutely no work done, and your mind's gonna be completely gone. So that's coming up. So I wanted to touch on teamwork to make sure that we were on the same page of, you know, be nice to each other and whatnot at the game jam. What's up?
What's the tag for the Discord, I guess, do you know?
What's the what?
The tag or how to add, I guess, the ISU PDC club. Invite code.
Oh, it's on our steward page.
Yeah. Yeah, everybody get on there. There's a lot of information that goes through there. You can go by email, but you'll be missing out on all sorts of, you know, shitty jokes that I'll be sticking on there. Did anybody get the joke I put on there on Off Topic? Anybody?
The one on Flare.
I get it now. I didn't understand it.
Like, nobody said anything. I was like, did this just go over people? Did they think I just uploaded code? Like, there's a reason.
I didn't understand it until after.
It's Bohemian Rhapsody in code, which is kind of hard to read, but
Okay, I'll be honest, I didn't actually read the code.
whatever. Anyways.
What's Discord and how do I get there?
Discord, you know, Skype. You talk with people, you message people. Curse, help me out. TeamSpeak. You could send messages to the club, and then other people can read those messages and whatnot. Yeah, it's like Skype, but not as shitty.
And they're getting video chat soon.
Yeah, so
It's in beta.
yeah.
Also, what's the group that you join? Like, the group?
If you go on the steward page, if you go on the
All the emails.
yes. We've been looking at this screen for a while. I think we should move on. So teamwork. Oh boy. So the first thing I wanted to say about teamwork is you need to come up with a game plan, because I promise you, if you go into a game jam and you just decide that you're going to improvise, you're going to have 4 or 5 people all working on something different, and you're going to try and put it together, and it's just going to be an absolute mess. So make a schedule. It does not have to be specific. If you're making a platformer, you don't have to say have jumping mechanics by 42 hours left. And have pipe, I guess I just went with Mario. Don't have pipe art by n number of hours left. It doesn't matter. You don't need to do something like that. What's more important is having general tasks and having a sort of timestamp for that. So something like 3 hours into the game jam, we need to start actually working on something. We need to be done with brainstorming. We need to stick with what we got. And then 35 hours or 36 hours left, you know, start putting in artwork. Stop using gray boxing, you know, get a feel for how it looks so that you make sure it's going together. When you have 5 hours left, it's probably time to stop working on new things. It's probably time to start, you know, making sure your shit works, because stuff goes wrong last minute every single time for every project. Without, yes, just all the time. Trust me. Trust me on that. The other thing is you do not need to follow it perfectly. So, I mean, with every game jam I've done, I've set out a certain game idea that I wanted to make, and then it's sort of skewed to the side because I can never get scope correct. I always think this is so easy to do, and then I can't do it anyways. So it's all right to deviate, but you should set out a general path for your team to work. What the hell just happened? The other thing, okay. If you have a team and it has 4 artists on it and nothing else, odds are you should make an art-related game. It sounds simple. It's not always super obvious. If you've got an artist that's trying to do a bunch of pixel art and they really enjoy that, don't tell them to do Halo Reach, but in a game jam. They're not going to be able to work with it. Give them something that plays to their strengths so that you've got something to work off of and people are doing something that they're comfortable with. An example of this is relevant because this game just came out recently. Cuphead. They had 19 people on their team. Give me a guess on how many of those people were art related.
17.
That's too high. That's really high. No. 12, you nailed it. They had 12 of the 19 people just doing the artwork. They only had 7 people actually making the game part of the game. And it really shows. The game is not good because of its mechanics, it's not good because of its story. It's really cool because of its artwork and how absolutely goddamn beautiful it is. That game is hot.
I mean, it's a good game too.
Well, yeah, it is.
Plays like crap.
No, it doesn't play like crap. But it's not getting attention because of its great game mechanics. Its game mechanics aren't really super new. It's getting a lot of attention because it's gorgeous to look at. So the fact that they had so many people on their team as artists reflected how it turned out. And they did that well. They played to their strengths. If they had tried to go for a game that was super diverse and had a bunch of different loadouts and stuff and just had tons and tons of game mechanics, it would have been a disaster because 12 of their people would have been working on art, but only 3 of them would have been working on art because the others would have been sitting around waiting for mechanics to come out so that they could animate it, which that comes back into play in a sec. So this is kind of obvious, but you'd be surprised at how much it doesn't really go down. Communicate. So when you're in a group, you need to let everyone speak and let everyone share their ideas. If you shut people down, they will not bring up any more ideas. That happens time and time again. If you tell someone, no, we're not doing that, they're not going to talk anymore. They're going to think that, oh, my ideas are bad, or they don't want to listen to me. I'll just shut up and do their thing. And people just aren't going to be very interested in it. The other thing, my friend gave me a really good example when I was talking to him about this earlier. If you're making a platformer and someone in your group says every single level should be underwater, that is a bad idea. That is an objectively bad idea. Water levels in platformers are just not very good. But by giving that bad idea, what is one thing that you know you'll do in your game? Not water levels. So even if people are throwing ideas that you guys aren't going with, you could still pull some value out of them because you know what not to do. My friend said they were trying to plan for homecoming in high school. And he said, he just started spitting out stuff. He said, what if we get 5 clowns and no DJ? And they said, God, no, what the fuck, no, what? And he said, okay, now we know we really want a DJ and also not 5 clowns. So it's some progress. So don't be afraid to just throw stuff out, even if it'll be wrong, or not wrong, no idea is wrong, except for all water levels. Even if it's an idea that won't get used and won't get utilized completely, it still gives the team some direction because they know either they like it or they don't. You also need to make sure that everyone's following your game plan. If one of your programmers decides they want to do a mechanic that you haven't talked about, and they make it, and it's the most beautiful mechanic in the world, it's just the greatest, and none of the artists worked on it, you can't really put it in your game because it doesn't fit. It doesn't work well because there's no actual animation for it. There's no actual artwork for it. So make sure everyone is just sort of following you, or not following you, following along. Be honest. If someone's doing something and it needs to change, tell them. Don't sit there and move around the problem. Be direct, but also don't be an asshole. I know. Yeah, why even actually have to include that? It's self-explanatory. Don't be an asshole. Come on. It's not cool. The other thing, just something to keep in mind, if you're doing a game project in person, so you're sitting with somebody, working with them, talk constantly. Ask for feedback. Say, hey, I just did this. How does this feel? What do you think about this? Get ideas flowing back and forth. If something that I sort of go by is if the Game Jam group is quiet for 10 or more minutes, there's something wrong going on because there should be some communication. You should be talking about literally anything, the weather, I don't fucking care. And so then if you're working online, keep a consistent schedule. Make sure that you're meeting same time every week if that's how you're doing it. Make sure you're just on task. And then actually talk to people. I know in this generation talking on the phone is absolutely horrifying. I agree. God, ordering pizza is a nightmare. But
Online ordering.
right? Greatest invention. Don't actually have to talk to anybody. It is much easier to work as a team when you can actually just voice things, when it's not some pre-planned long message that you can send someone when you're actually just communicating like people, goddammit.
I got them.
What?
You said I could interject. So.
Yeah.
Just go back, and not to call you out. When working in a team, something really important. Again, not to call you out, but it's really easy to say when you're talking that these are your programmers, your artists. This is your idea and your game you're making. Especially with the game jam, that needs to go away really. In a game jam with these small groups, some of them which are made on the spot, everyone's equal there. You're all pretty much on the same level of expertise, and even if you're not, you're all there for the same exact reason. Don't become too attached to the ideas you bring up, to the mechanics you bring up. If the group chooses the idea that you brought up, it's really easy to say that, this is your idea and you're kind of heading the project now. There shouldn't be a defined leader in the group. If people are falling behind, yeah, it's okay to, pick up the slack for them and talk to them. But I would not, in a small group, I wouldn't assume leadership with these people. I don't know.
That's a really good point. Yeah, absolutely. And it's sort of what I was going for here. The last thing I want to just really quick touch on is the need to compromise. At a game jam, I guarantee your idea will be the greatest thing. You will look at it and you will say, this is actual gold. This is not an idea. This is an actual brick of gold. This will be amazing. But so is every single person on your team. They're all thinking the exact same thing. And for you to actually move forward and come up with something and work on it, you need to realize that your idea is not going to be completely preserved. You need to pick and choose from it, and you need to sort of work together to come up with an idea that sort of fits everybody, because you don't want to leave people behind. And that's sort of where I was going with this. People work so much better when they have some investment in it, when an idea that they have is in it. If 3 of your 4 people have their ideas put in the game and the 4th one's just schlocked to the side and just completely ignored, they're not going to be very passionate about it because they don't feel like it's theirs. They don't feel like it's their baby that they're working on. They feel like it's something that they're working with people on. So now I want to open it up and ask you guys, what are some examples that you've had where teamwork just either went great or just went really badly? What's up?
All right, so when I was in Iowa Lakes Community College, we tried to do an internship of a game over the summer, and I was the the level design leader. I had 4 people under me, and it was just the worst time I've ever had trying to help people out, trying to create a game. I had to tell our instructor that they wouldn't get stuff done. They wouldn't do stuff. When they would send me things, it would be half-ass and mediocre. You just have to keep a consistent track. We would try and get together every week, and every other week they'd be like, "Oh, I'm busy now." Make sure you know what you guys are doing and when things need to be done, because it was extremely hard to do it even with 5 people. So.
Yeah. What do you think would have been a solution to that, possibly?
Considering it was over the summer and everyone lived in different places, it would probably have been easier if we were like here. We're in the same area. We're all at Iowa State. Where I had someone live in Illinois. I mean, I couldn't go and see them to check on how their game is going. So yeah.
That's fair enough.
It's a lot better if you know know how to get a hold of people other than online. So.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, I'm going to throw out my own example. Cole was here for this.
I did the same example.
Wait, were you? I think you were. The first game jam?
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't remember. I'm sorry. At my first game jam that I did here at Iowa State, I was the only programmer in my group. And I had 3 people that wanted to do art. And so we decided to go with a game that was really mechanics heavy and not very art heavy. And I was completely overloaded and stressed out. Trying to get sleep was difficult because I had so many things I still needed to work on. And the rest of my team had nothing to do because I couldn't keep up with the artwork they were pumping out. I could only put in so many levels and so many mechanics. My solution that I would give for that is, at the very beginning, we should have recognized that with our skill set, with our numbers, a mechanics-heavy game is just a bad idea. That we should have gone with something more artsy and more focused on that, with maybe an emphasis on level design instead of level mechanics. So something where it's got really grounded base mechanics and maybe just a bit longer, rather than something that had a lot of mechanics. That was a
Way too many.
yeah.
At least two.
Which one was it?
That was
End of all boats.
yeah. The one where you played as Dennis the Menace and you just kicked you just kicked everybody's stuff down. It was fun. Yeah, the art was great. Climbing a ladder was the actual most difficult garbage thing in the entire game. So yeah, the art was good.
Wait, have you tried stairs?
No, that sounds harder. That sounds like more of a mess. Did anybody else have any? It doesn't have to be game related. Just what's up?
Long story short, having 4 people write a document doesn't work very well when one of you is really bad at writing.
I mean,
Why did they do that? Why would they make 4 people write one paper? I never understand that. It never goes well.
yeah, really, it's just one person working hard, one person working
It's the same art.
somewhat, and then the other 2 are just like,
Each person a different part of the document to write, but then one of us had to leave, the one who was kind of So we read through it, and to our horror and somewhat humor, it was full of spelling mistakes.
oh boy.
So yeah. And to that, I guess I would just say, know the skills of your teammates. Like,
Yeah. Yeah, there's not really much you can do there if your teammate is just having trouble keeping up. Maybe just give them less to work with or give them a different job. Like, well, I would say proofreading, but it doesn't sound like they'd be very good at that either. So, what's up?
Have you ever heard of a game design document / Bible?
Yes.
Okay, because that's needed in bigger projects, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. This is more of a game jam specific, where the game plan isn't very specific, because problems will come up if you're. I mean, one of my very first game jams, actually, was before the one that I mentioned. I had a mechanic where I was trying to turn the world black and white when it was within a circle that you could create around your character, and I accidentally made it so that you could jump based on where the circle was. So your character could be floating in the air, and as long as the big circle that turned everything black and white was touching the ground, you could jump. So I decided it was a feature because I didn't have enough time to try and fix that, and it just sort of became the main focus of the game. I literally centered everything around it because I was like, hey, it's unique, I guess, and I don't know how to fix it, so it's staying. So at a game jam, it's much more chaotic, and it's just sort of, you throw something, and if it sticks, you go with it. Whereas, yes, absolutely, for a big project, you should try to come up with a very detailed game design doc, your pitch, all of the fancy mumbo jumbo so that you know exactly what you're doing. Anybody else? Yes.
When you're setting features or setting a timeline for features, actually complete them within the time. Don't just set we're gonna have this feature set done within some number of months, say 3 months. It will extend to 7 months if you do not have every single thing planned out.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. For long-term stuff, you need to plan very meticulously. Whereas, yeah. All right. What?
I can give an example. This is good teamwork, not bad. Okay. First of all, I was the level designer. I wasn't an artist on that project. So,
Didn't you do some of the art?
I did do art. I made a beautiful flower pot that was exactly
5 pixels high. Don't do that. But I believe our second one went so much better. Not exactly with scope, because we always have a problem with that, but and everything else, I think.
What was the scope?
Making like three levels, 3 worlds, and then turn into 4 rooms.
Unique art for all 3. We barely finished one.
Yeah.
It looked great.
But just the improvement from your first to my second game jam, I can tell there was a lot more coordination going on. People, we sat down and we said, okay, we got 2 hours. That's our planning phase. We'll sit down. We'll come out with every idea to this topic. We had like 4 different genres, and
It's all over the place.
it was really all over the place. And then after 2 hours, we're like, okay, we could think of more, but this is what we liked, and this is what we're going to go with. And then we set out way too big of a game at first, but we as we went along, we're like, okay, we readjust our goals, and that's very important with game jams, with team-based activities. If you're in a time limit or you don't know exactly what you're going to be able to achieve, it's perfectly fine to readjust your goals and what you want to accomplish. It's better to have something that works that wasn't quite what you planned than to have something that was halfway done and just doesn't work.
Yeah, we also had 2 programmers for that one, so we actually got some more interesting game mechanics going, and we had less of a focus on art. Although our one artist did a good job. Okay. I don't care if you guys wanted to sit on your asses this meeting, too bad. We're doing an activity, and guess what? It's teamwork related, so too bad. You want to explain?
All right, how many of you guys have done that activity where you sit around and make a big tower? With, just,
Oh, yeah.
Okay, cool. So for the rest of you guys,
What did you just do?
I don't know. What did I just do? No. Did I fix it, maybe?
we're gonna split you guys into, I think, 5 groups, and you're gonna get 5 sheets of paper.
You're going to get 8 o'clock minus now minutes to work on it.
15 minutes.
Yes.
And we're gonna split you guys up. Your goal is to make a freestanding paper tower. Make it as high as you can. It has to stand on its own. You cannot tape it to the table. Those are pretty much the only limitations, and you have to use the materials we give you. You can't have whatever you have on hand. You'll have
You can't.
tape, the paper, but it brings scissors, crap.
You don't need scissors. You got to fold it.
Okay, yeah, you're full too. So
You got to fold
you
it.
got paper and you got tape.
So I guess we'll count off. Is anybody particularly opposed to that? Is anybody really attached to the people next to them? Too bad. All right. So we're going to start 1 through 5. Veronica, are you doing it? All right. 1.
2.
3.
4. 5. Jeez, this is the first meeting I'll ever do.
5.
2.
3, 4, 5. 1, 2.
4, 5, 1.
All right.
Disperse wherever you want.
Go.
will do better, then I bet you'll do it better than at least one group, because they won't do that and they won't have a tower at all.
Okay. We can just tape a ton together and do it just very carefully.
So, I think we want to.
Let's go for broke.
Alright, I suppose that's fair. I feel demotivated. Why don't we we could do that, but octagon. We could try to make it, fold it into eight. We could try to make like the base kind of more like a cone. Yes, that's right.
Or we do like,
Right.
yeah.
We could rip the,
No.
and then we could do that, go even farther, rip into the forest and get all the way up to the ceiling. That might be less structurally sound.
Let's at least try and get like 3 of these done. Let's try and do 3 of them.
Yeah. We'll just like cut the last 2 in half to do that.
I'll just tell you guys, it's been 5 minutes in the game jam. I should already see a tower here. You guys are. Hey,
There's no.
Everyone works at their own pace.
no. Remember when I said?
Still have like 47 hours left, okay? Let me
Remember?
sleep.
Hey, you remember when I said prototype? It works. Preschoolers, I took a psychology course. Scientifically, preschoolers are better at this than college students. Because
Making the mistakes.
no, because all they'll do is they'll make something small that works, and then they'll build off of that until that works, and then keep building off of that. While we make those big towers, and if that falls over, they're fucked. It's better to have a tower that stands than to try to build something super huge, and if it fails, that's it.
Like the college professor
Yeah.
who did a thing. I was just thinking.
My college
I heard a
professor
story
doesn't
of
do that.
A college pottery professor who gave half his class the task of like the project to make as many pots as possible.
Look at that. Prototyping. That's your first prototype. Now build off of
The other
that.
class a month to make the world's perfect pot, and at the end of the month, the better pots. Triangle-based thing?
I'll see you 5 minutes. You feel the panic setting in?
Yes,
Exactly.
I live off of it. Okay, so let's actually do things.
Aiden, I've seen you. You don't live off of panic.
What are you talking about?
Oh, see, look what they did. Look at there's no prototype. It fell over. I got no tower now. Meanwhile, you guys would have beaten them because you had a 1 paper tall tower.
5 minutes. That is a good amount of time.
Aiden, I don't appreciate the sass.
I appreciate my sass.
So your opinion doesn't matter here. I know. I said everyone has a voice, but you don't.
Rip these in half.
We could. Then, like, we decided that a lot of other people do
But the footer they are.
no one else is doing it.
You guys are my protege. If you fail, this goes poorly on me.
This goes poorly on your permanent record.
Yeah.
Because that's a...
If we shake the thing,
Structure tells me like.
What do you think? What do you think was your biggest asset? What do you think gave you the win? Has somebody just done this like 4 times? Is there anything else?
if it's not broken, don't fix it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you'd say your game plan was probably the strongest part of it? 'Cause you had something.
We
agreed right away.
Yeah, it was a quick agreement. You obviously had to go one certain way to get the highest out of each piece of paper, and pretty easy.
I like it.
Good teamwork.
Alright, everyone hold theirs like this. It's an accident.
All right, everybody sit down. We're done.
See if you can sit down without knocking over the paper.
Congrats, Ed. You will be known as the eternal paper towel
Stackers.
stacking
Yes.
champions
I'm no paper
of the
stacker.
entire club.
I'm gonna put that on my resume.
Yes.
No. I got it.
So impressed. I'd be impressed.
Hey.
If I was a recruiter and I saw somebody who had the gall to put that on their resume, I'd be like, wow, that's a pretty good team.
I'm about to give an inspirational speech. You just keep talking, man. Come on. I was about to say, just like a team, you guys gotta support each other. The whole thing falls over.
All right. That's
That's it.
Yes.
No, the slide won't show. It's not over. Okay.
Okay, all right. That's it. Thanks for coming, guys. Go forward and make games. It'll be awesome.
Hey,